Hello, my crafty friends. It's Marie from Marie's Vermont Creations, and today I am participating in the card Hoppin, a year full of fun themes and techniques. And this month, the theme was sunshine, and the technique that I chose was embossing folders because I do not use them nearly enough. So I am using this sunburst like embossing folder, which came in a kit from Pink and Maine, and I had this vibrant bright yellow cardstock from my stash that is cut to, I believe I did 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 because I am going to make a 6 by 6 card for this project today. So I'm running this through my Cuttlebug because I find that my Cuttlebug is the only tool that I can get embossing folders to work. I have the platinum. I still haven't figured out the sandwich to get that to work and not feel like I am destroying the machine. So it's just something I have to play with more. I forget about my embossing folder. So that's why I chose this technique instead of the other option today, because I wanted to force myself to use them. So this awesome butterfly came in this with the stamp set that came in the same kit. So I am taking a piece of vellum and I'm going to treat it with my anti-static powder tool. And I am going to ink the butterfly up using my Versamark ink, which is just a clear sticky ink, which is really good for adhering embossing powder because it will stick to it and give you enough time to be able to then melt it with your heat tool. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to place this in here, and I was using the Misty because I potentially could have needed to stamp it a second time, because sometimes this stamp, for some reason, I was having a hard time getting it to give me a clear image, but I think maybe I've used it enough now that that's not the case, which is a good thing because the vellum is lightweight. The Versamark's very sticky, so it picked up, and I would not have had the opportunity, I think, to definitely stamp it a second time, even though I was using the Misty, because I also didn't cut the vellum very straight, so it wasn't sitting in the corner of the Misty as well as it should. But in the end, it worked out well. I am going to take this out of the Misty and coat it with my Brutus Monroe Alabaster embossing powder, and then heat set that until it's smooth and melted. So if you have not seen any of these hops, we've been doing them once a month, and we get a theme and a technique that we choose from. And so the next person that's in the hop is going to be listed down below in my description. So I hope that you will check out everyone, because every month there are some wonderful projects that you can get inspiration from, and hopefully, inspire you to use items that you have in your stash. You're hoarding them, you have them, you don't get rid of them, but maybe you need some inspiration on using them. So hopefully that is what you'll find with everyone's projects with this hop. And so I am just heat setting this, and you want to move your heat gun pretty regularly because it's vellum and it's pretty thin and you don't want to burn it. Also in the kit came the die for this, as I put it on there upside down. Not helpful. I'm not going to cut anything that way. So flip it over. I'm going to tack it down with some painter's tape just so it doesn't shift when I put it through my die cutting machine. And then off screen I will die cut that and have this wonderful vellum butterfly that I will take some 1/8 inch score tape and just run it along the center of the body of the butterfly so that the adhesive doesn't show, so that the wings are still able to move. They're not going to be pinned down. So it gives it a little bit of movement and texture, I guess, to the card, along with all of the texture that you get with this embossing folder. So then I took a sentiment from the stamp set that the butterfly came with, and I took the same color of yellow cardstock, and I am going to heat emboss this sentiment in white using my Versamark ink and my Brutus Monroe Alabaster embossing powder. I stamped this a couple of times and heat set that until it's smooth and melted. And then when I went to go put it on the card, it blended in too much. I wasn't quite sure where I wanted it. I was originally going to trim it out with a banner die that I have in my stash, but it wasn't quite wide enough. I need to invest in some larger sizes. So I ended up trimming it with my paper trimmer, and then I will cut banners into it myself. So I have a flag on one side and a straight edge on the other. But it kind of gets lost on top of the butterfly and on the cardstock because they are the same color. So I'm just heat setting this. And here's putting in the banner. So what I do is I just snip in the center and then come in at an angle on both sides. The first side came out looking like a banner. The second side, I didn't have as much room to put the banner in because I attempted it. And then I opted that I was just going to do a straight edge instead because it was a little bit of a wonky banner and I didn't like the look of it. So I ended up just trimming it to be straight. And now I'm going to put it on the project and realize that I don't really love it. So to keep going and fix it, I took Carved Pumpkin Distress Oxide and my blender brushes, and I am just going to blend on some ink, not smoothly. I did just a rough blending just to give it a little pop of color so that I could see how it would stand out on the card base now, or on the card panel. So I'm just wiping it with a tissue. And I'm putting on some foam tape on the back of it because that's how I'm going to adhere it to this embossed piece of paper so that it doesn't give me any issues. And then I decided that I was going to just run the color all around my card panel, which I thought would give it kind of a fun sunset kind of look with the orange on the outside, and then it would tie in why I had it on the sentiment as well. So that kind of just brings it all together. So I will take this down the road and put this on a 6x6 card base, but I just completed the panel for today. So like I said, the next person is going to be linked down in my description box below. I hope that you'll check out everyone, and as always, I hope that y'all have a great day.